welcome to another video. Today we're working on the ST once again, and we are going to be sorting out the issue with the springs. When I first bought this, I thought that one spring looked a bit bigger than the other, but now it's jacked up. They look alright. So I've just undone both shockeys because it's got an advisory for corroded springs. So with the car on axle stands and the shockeys undone, we're gonna drop the jack, which is on the rear beam. And out come the springs. Me personally, I don't see an issue with them. All springs corrode, and I don't think it makes them any more liable to snap. I've seen springs snap where there's not a break in the powder coating and they're brand new. So we're going to be painting these today just to make sure we don't get an advisory on the MOT. With the springs off the car, I've asked MOT testers that I personally know, and they wouldn't advise a corroded spring, but on the MOT on this vehicle, it does have advisories for corroded springs. So firstly, just to get the flaky rust off, this can work with anything. Rear drums, anything like that. This technique is good for it. So I'm just going to wire wheel these to get the more stubborn bits of rust off. But as you can see, a couple drops, 10 seconds later, a lot of the rust has been removed. So I'm going to be painting these with caliper paint. You don't need to be primed because the caliper paint just goes on bare metal calipers anyway. And I would not be doing this if I thought these springs were seriously weakened, but there's no chance of that. I don't see any problems with them. The paint's come off, that's all I see. They're not liable to break just because the paint's come off. So I'm going to paint them. I'm going to paint them with the same colour. I was going to do either black or red because that's what I've got, but I thought the colour of the springs might identify the make or the spring rate, because obviously they're not original springs and I don't know what make they are, but if someone sees it's got yellow springs on it, they might go, oh, they're such and such springs. So I'm going to paint them the same colour. So there's not really any need to film any of this, but here's the caliper paint. I'll just put a little bit on so you get the gist. Doesn't have to be pretty. As long as it's covered, it'll get through the MOT. But I am going to go ahead and do 2-3 coats, just so it looks the part as well. Here we have the finished product. They've been off the car for a day or so the paint on them's gone nice and hard. Stuck to the carpet, but they didn't leave any paint behind. And that's a vast improvement. And I'm not going to get pulled up on them now when I take it from the MOT. Very simple process of putting these back on. Go ahead, take your rubber top. Line the stopper up with the end of the coil. Bring it round. As we can see, both them springs are now levitating, held in by the rubbers. So we can go ahead, line the springs up. Got the springs seated. I would like it if there was a rubber around there, but obviously it doesn't have one. So we're going to jack it up until our beam lines up with the shock ears. In it goes. Out comes the jack. You can see them springs from here, nice and bright yellow. So that's another job crossed off the list on the ST. That's going to bring us to the end of the video. It's coming along nicely, this car now. I've tidied the brakes up and I've painted the calipers. There'll be a video on that as well. But every now and again you get a quick glimpse of the red caliper and the yellow spring, and it looks very nice. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, don't forget to subscribe so I can catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.